Hey, how's it going guys? My name's Daniel, aka HashLips, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go over the progress that I've made with the game that I'm busy building. Feel free to watch the previous update videos, but since the last time, I've spent some time updating the game menu screen. I feel that's very important because that's going to set the tone of what people can expect when they enter the game. So I'm going to go into that, and then also I focus on some path building and to figure out how I'm going to set out the tiles in the game. I've also added some sounds to the game, and here are some of the artist soundtracks that I've used, and I got these from freesound.org. Now, let's take a look at the game menu screen. So here it is, and I'm just going to go ahead and play it. So as you can hear the background track, and then hopefully you can hear the clicking sounds. And then I can enter the game. Okay, so let's unpack this because there's actually a lot happening behind the scenes. You see, the game menu, if you leave it running for long enough, you should start seeing things move, such as the clouds. There's a little bit of snow falling in as well. And just these tiny bits of movement makes the scene feel more warm and also more real, right? And I'll show you the movement in just a bit, but how I got this right is I had AI generate an image, and then I extended that and drew on top of that image. And then I went and separated each layer. So you can see that this black ink is completely its own layer, right? And it looks pretty cool because we can fade it in and out. On top of that, on the UI layer, you can see this is sitting right at the top, but each element is also separated, right? So that I can make them move in and out as the animation, as you hover over them, they change position. And then for the foreground, that can go away completely and we're left with the buildings. And after the buildings, we see the clouds, which is busy moving as well. And then you just have the sky. So I'm going to play this again and then pay attention, and I'll talk you through kind of the movements that are applied in the scene. And before I play it, the way I achieve it, if we look at one of these clouds, you can see that I've placed a behavior on it. It's a sine behavior. And then it simply has a period of where it swings back and forth, and it's moving on the horizontal axis. For this ink dam over here, I'm doing the same, but this is playing around with the opacity. So this is just to show you kind of how I achieved this result. Let's go ahead and play the scene. And there we go. So pay attention to these clouds. You can see that they are moving ever so slightly to the right and to the left. And it's very subtle, maybe not so subtle, but it does add to the scene, right? Especially because they can move behind these buildings. You can also see there's bits and pieces of snow falling. And this is achieved through the 2D particle engine of Construct 2. And then the river over here, this ink river, or this ink dam, you can see it changes opacity ever so slightly. And then of course, with the added movement of these menu icons, I think it's a very cool result. And on the left hand side, we just have the Sketchy Labs logo, the hand, holding the paint brushes, which is cool. And then Sketchy Corp, the game's name. And I think this is a good start for a game menu. And another thing that's important, why I wanted to do the game menu first before I got into really developing the game any further, is because I needed some kind of creative look and feel for the game. So any of the game assets that I'm going to create is really going to be based off this vision, this look and feel, the vibrant pink, green colors that's in this scene. And so I think that's really important to translate what I have here into the game if I don't have a design in mind yet. And that is about it for the game menu. So in the code for this game menu, I'm just playing certain sounds on the start of the layout. And then of course, when I click on the new game icon, then it takes me to the world layout. So let's get to the world layout and I'll show you what I've done. But firstly, one thing that I had to play around with was these tiles, right? These kind of, how's the environment going to look, and how am I easily going to paint tiles in the world scene? So I'm going to show you how I did that. I don't think this is completely correct yet. I might need to tweak the angles and have different objects in here as well. But it's a good start, especially if I just want to define the roads, or the paths that the characters can walk on. So back in the game engine, I'm going to run the game quickly, and I just want to talk about the sounds that I've added first. So if I put this on loud, hopefully you can hear the footsteps if I walk around. So I hope you can hear that. It might be very faint because it shouldn't be too loud. But also, if you walk up to one of these info boards, you can hear that ping. And that's a little nice added sound as well. So looking at these paths that we can see over here, I've made them so that, the character can roam freely around. But I really want the character to also be able to heal quicker or get their stamina back faster when they do walk on the path. So you'll see I can run on this path and my stamina goes down, but it doesn't go down too fast, and it restores quite quickly when I'm on the path. But as soon as I go off the path and I start running around, you can see that my stamina at the top right is running quite low. And if I stay off the path, it heals, but it kind of takes longer, right? And when I go on a path, you see how quickly that gains it back. So that's something I wanted to do with the paths as well. And this is to encourage people to walk on the paths. But there will also be more game mechanics that's going to encourage that. But that's just so that, people don't just ignore the path completely and just run where they want to. And also a cool thing that I've added is I split the building in two. Now, I'll probably have to do this with some assets, and with others, I can play with the Y order of the layer. But the reason is, up until now, you couldn't go behind the building. But now I can. So I can actually go and slip behind the building there, and it looks like I'm walking behind this building. And this is important, and it's just a smart play on the layer order and, how you split your objects up, and which one is on top of the character and which one is not. Now let's take a look at how did I draw out these tiles. So as you can see, I spent some time just working on the layout and getting some shapes, that could fit with some areas where I can plot some buildings and you can feel like you're going into a new area, right? So how I did this was here on the ground. If I select the tiles, there's a thing called the tile map, and it looks like this. And that's that image that I showed you previously. So what's nice is I can take this pen tool and select some ground and just start drawing. And then I can select a corner and I can draw the corner and so. And so I can draw for myself, what I can assume the environment would look like, and then later I can just fill in the gaps. And there we go. So this is how, I spent some time creating the layout. It's very cool, these tile maps. And as I said, I can populate this with many more assets and then just draw them on freely. But I have some different plans as well with trees and so on, and that will probably come on another layer. And so that is my update for today for my game. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Again, like I said, always let me know in the comments what your suggestions is for the game as I'm building this out. So this weekend I'm going to continue. I don't know what I'm going to work on yet, but I'm going to play around and see and then I'll update you next weekend.
Justice.